Hey, I thought we'd talk about the article I mentioned in the previous video. I found a link here through Reddit, which I dare not go on a good day. However, the information led me here, so I'm assuming this is the interview where they talk about the armor. Having said that, we're just going to read through it right here. So, are you able to talk about the changes to the armor system and the reasons behind them? It seems that it has been simplified. Is the under armor or clothing layer gone? Will there eventually be a transmog option, and will players be able to do equipment presets? So for Dragon's Dogma 2, we changed the armor system and simplified it with the goal that people will choose different things to have more visual variety. We wanted to balance it in a way so that people wouldn't end up always choosing the same things. In that regard, we added more variety and simplified the system. Rather than having inner and outer, we divided the equipment for the upper half of the body and the lower half of the body. We added helms and capes. There are some presets, but overall, well, something that happened in the previous game at high levels was that people would go for the same equipment in the end. This time, we made a conscious goal of trying to create something that, even at higher levels, people would be encouraged to choose different things. So there will be some visual variety into what people were choosing. So, having read that, if we start at the beginning here, they added more variety and simplified the system. I've been presupposing that there are going to be variations of chest and possibly leg sets. If I had to guess, I would say that it's probably more focused on the chest area because that's, as some people have mentioned in the comments, that's the majority of the armor that's covering your body. So I'm just speculating, which is what I always do, and it gets me into trouble. But if the armor, you have an armor set, right? And we've seen this a little bit in the previous video that I made, where you had the dire wolf thief armor in the splash screen, and then when we got to the trickster or something, the trickster just had the arm, the furry arm pieces. That didn't have the chest piece. So that's why I think I'm trying to pick up on things like that. Like, hey, that's very similar. Maybe they're just omitting pieces. I think it's probably partly that, but I think it's also when he says variety, he was probably saying like just different kinds of armor also. So there's probably it's probably the best of both scenarios. Am I saying that I think it's better than the original game? No, I would not say that. I would never say that because I still, one of the things that always gets me to go back is like, hey, maybe I can play this vocation and then I can mix this thing that I wouldn't ordinarily used to be able to get with this vocation or class, and I can kind of mix it up and have more options. So, and then they go on to say, so, well, I'll go back to that in a second because I had a second thought. So you mean everybody pretty much started using the same gear and looking the same in the previous game? Yeah. So because of that, we tried to make it very consciously that, or so that the higher your level, the more variety you would be encouraged to choose from. So a couple of things kind of jumps out at me. One being the higher level, the more variety you're going to be able to choose from. Essentially, that's what I'm getting from this. So you'll have a bigger pool of fashion to pull from, which sounds cool. Getting to the higher levels and then having maybe lesser restrictions on what kind of armor you can wear based on your vocation. That sounds like a useful skill. Maybe we could get. I don't know if it's a skill. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying that could be a scenario. So, and then the only other thing, oh, the presets. I was thinking, like the first game, there were characters armor sets that you could wear, but if you wore it, you basically had to wear the whole thing. So that could be part of that, or it could be, hey, I like this set and I want to make a preset for that, and switch to that whenever I go to my equipment or whatever. So again, we don't really know what the armor situation is going to look like until the game comes out. I mean, there's a thing happening today that they're going to do. I don't know what's going to be in it, but just the notion of having more variety, it doesn't make up for the fact that the system has been simplified. I was pissed when Skyrim, and I think it was Oblivion, maybe it was Oblivion, yeah, Oblivion, it took away all those armor slots, because you had shoulders and gloves and chest pieces and helmets and left and right, and super customization, but all that stuff started to go away, which is unfortunate. I mean, it's what makes a lot of these games really unique, but I'm willing to see where they're going to take it. So hopefully there's enough room for people to be creative, which sounds like is important to them. They want people to be able to have access to a lot of options. So anyway, video's going on a little longer than I thought, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. That cleared up a couple of things. Hopefully it didn't make things more confusing. I feel like I'm more confused, but hopefully they show us some cool stuff tonight. If they do, I'll make a video about that tomorrow. And then the game comes out next Friday, next Thursday if you get it on Steam, about 11 p.m. Central Time. And I believe if you're in New Zealand, right, you can get the game even earlier. So thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.